If we achieve positive results across multiple cancer types, it could validate our technology as a new standard for treating moderate to severe cancer pain.
Welcome back, and thank you for joining us today for another Virtual Investor CEO Connect segment. My name is Janine Thomas. I am CEO of JTCIR, and I am very pleased to be joined by Brad Hauser. He is Chief Executive Officer of Autonomix Medical. Welcome back to our platform, Brad.
Thanks, Janine. As always, it's great to be here.
So, for our audience, the focus of today's segment with Brad is on Autonomix's planned follow on market expansion phase of their proof of concept trial, the rationale, and next steps. And before we get started, I just want to remind our audience that Autonomix is publicly listed on NASDAQ and trades under the ticker AMIX. And during today's discussion, the company will be making forward looking statements. So, I encourage everyone to view the company's website and the SEC's website for the latest filings and information. Okay, so let's dive right in. So, Brad, to put this discussion into context for our audience, I think it makes sense to start with the key learnings from the initial phase of your first in human proof of concept trial, or what you are calling the POC 1, in patients with severe pancreatic cancer pain, and that support the advancement into your expansion phase, or what is called POC 2.
Absolutely. The initial phase of our trial, or what we call POC1, it was designed to evaluate the safety and effectiveness using our transvascular radiofrequency ablation approach for treating severe pancreatic cancer pain. And the results that we're seeing, they're very compelling. We saw rapid and significant pain reduction with noticeable relief within 24 hours post-procedure. 84% of the treated subjects responded to the treatment with a 53% reduction in pain, and that's measured on the VAS scale at 7 days post-procedure. They also saw a nearly 60% reduction in pain at the 4 to 6 week follow-up time point. But more importantly, we saw a major impact on opioid use. 100% of the responders were opioid-free at 7 days post-procedure, and 73% remained opioid-free at the 4 to 6 week post-procedure time point. POC1, it also demonstrated a strong safety profile. There were no device or procedure-related SAEs or severe adverse events. And finally, this phase of the trial, it provided key procedural insights, such as the importance of femoral artery access, which had a 100% response rate compared to no response in the small number of patients treated via brachial access. So we believe these results, they validate our novel approach, and they provide a strong foundation for us to move into the next phase of the study, which we call POC2. We're going to expand into additional visceral cancers and earlier stage pancreatic cancer to broaden our impact for patients suffering from intractable cancer pain.
Brad, you announced a market expansion opportunity, which, as you stated, has the potential to double the addressable market beyond pancreatic cancer pain by evaluating additional visceral cancers that signal pain through the celiac plexus and earlier stage pancreatic cancers with moderate to severe pain. What gives you confidence in this approach?
That's a great question, Janine. Our confidence comes directly from the compelling data we saw in POC1, which showed that our transvascular approach effectively and safely targets the nerves responsible for severe pancreatic cancer pain and provides a rapid and sustained relief. Many of the visceral cancers that we're looking at, including those in the gallbladder, liver, and bile ducts, they signal pain through the same neural pathways as pancreatic cancer pain. And given the consistent success that we saw in ablating these nerves and reducing pain in POC1, we believe this approach can be just as effective for these additional visceral cancers. And expanding to earlier stage pancreatic cancer patients with moderate to severe pain is also a logical next step, as these patients often have longer life expectancy than those compared to patients with late stage pancreatic cancer. If we can help them manage their pain earlier in their disease progression, we have the potential to improve quality of life for a much larger patient population. So ultimately, our POC2 study will allow us to gather more data on these broader indications while also refining our approach to maximize effectiveness. And if successful, we believe this expansion could more than double our market reach.
Brad, can you tell us, what does success look like?
Well, first and foremost, we want to replicate the strong pain relief outcomes that we saw in POC1. And that means demonstrating significant reduction in pain scores, ideally as early as 24 hours post-procedure, but also with sustained relief lasting at least 4 to 6 weeks post follow-up. And then another critical measure of success is opioid reduction. If we can achieve the similar outcomes in POC2 as we saw in POC1, it's going to reinforce the real world impact our approach is having on reducing dependency on opioids for cancer pain management. And then from a procedural standpoint, we're also going to be gathering additional insights to refine patient selection, artery access methods, and drive procedural efficiencies, as we know these are keys to success for any transvascular treatment. And then finally, by expanding into additional visceral cancers, we're not just looking for success in one disease, it's about demonstrating broader applicability. If we achieve positive results across multiple cancer types, it could validate our technology as a new standard for treating moderate to severe cancer pain. So ultimately, success here, it's going to pave the way for our US clinical trials and our regulatory discussions, bringing us closer to making this therapy available to patients who desperately need better solutions.
What are the next steps and key milestones for which investors can be on the lookout?
Yes, we have several major milestones ahead. First, this POC2 trial will start enrolling within the next quarter, and investors can expect updates on enrollment and data readouts similar to our POC1 data. And then next, we're going to be refining our regulatory strategy with the goal of initiating US clinical trials in the second half of 2025. We're also going to continue to actively explore new applications for our technology beyond cancer pain, leveraging the platform's ability to precisely target overactive nerves. One of these areas that's very significant interest for us is refractory hypertension, a condition where high blood pressure remains uncontrolled despite medication. There's growing clinical evidence in renal denervation that certain nerves play a key role in blood pressure regulation, and we believe that our sensing technology could provide a novel, minimally invasive way to better target and ablate these nerves to help patients who don't respond to conventional medication. So in the coming months, investors should look for updates on our POC2, advancements towards our US clinical trials, and the potential preclinical research expansion into new therapeutic areas such as renal denervation. Each of these represents a significant opportunity and growth for Autonomix and our shareholders.
Thanks for that, Brad. Certainly an exciting time for Autonomix. Can't wait to have you back for an update. And with that, this concludes our Virtual Investor CEO Connect segment. I'd like to extend a huge thank you to Brad Hauser for joining us today. And as a reminder, Autonomix trades on NASDAQ under the ticker AMIX. And if you like what you saw today, I encourage you to visit Autonomix.com for more information on the company and to sign up to follow the company to receive their alerts, as well as follow their social channels on X, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram to stay current on the latest information. And you can also visit virtualinvestorco.com for a replay of today's segment, as well as our latest segments and events calendar. I'd like to thank everyone and wish you a great rest of your day.
Thank you, Janine. And as always, I appreciate the opportunity to share our progress and the exciting potential of our technology with your audience. We look forward to keeping you all updated on our advancements going forward.